I was in this location I'm in right now probably about 2.5 years ago, and so I'm hearing a lot of commotion coming down the street. I'm trying to figure out what it was. It was a group of people at a particular retreat. I won't say where, but as they were coming down the road, down this way, they were making a lot of noise as they were talking. So I'm sitting here with my camera because I am right now starting to investigate all these different areas people have witnessed a Florida skunk ape. So 2 years ago I came out here, and the story goes that a guy was coming down the road and he got his vehicle stuck. He was an executive, had to get out on the weekends. It was something he wanted to do just to get away because he was apparently a manager for over 100 people. So his retreat was to get out and get away, get in the woods, but he didn't have a vehicle that could actually go through this thick sand here. Story goes he was in his vehicle as he was making a 3-point turn to get out of here, and he got stuck. So as he got stuck, he got out of his car to check his front tire and found out that something was in the woods after a colossal fire, and burned all of the palmettos and everything else down at some spot here. I'm not quite sure where. Anyway, so something threw a pebble at him, hit him in the leg. It rolled across the hood of the car, and he thought it was a bunch of kids playing jokes on him because he didn't see another vehicle around, I guess. And he said, it wasn't funny, can you guys come out, help me out, I'm stuck. Well, he sat there for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden a female skunk ape stood up from behind the palmettos, and he freaked out, and he got in his car and he started slamming the door because he knew there was nothing he could do, and it triggered the alarm in his car because he was stuck. And as he watched her run past him behind a tree, it stood there, and he could see most of her body because she couldn't hide behind the tree, and watched the hand come around the tree and saw the hair hanging off the arm, and said it stunk like sulfur, like it had been in a sulfur spring or something. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, right, let me get out here and look this over and see what's going on. So as I started investigating further down the road here, I had found pebbles from limestone, because there's limestone rock around here. Anyway, I did some more investigation and I found some sulfur down the road, sulfur springs. I'm kind of close to St. John's River. But anyway, I did investigate it, found out that his story could possibly be true, but the real amazing thing about the story is that this thing ran across the road, grabbed a baby that was about 4 feet tall, put the baby on her hip and ran past him back into the woods, and then disappeared. And he swears up and down it happened, that he could not believe ever thinking that there's such a thing as a Florida skunk ape or Sasquatch, etc. Okay, so back to the story of these people coming down a road. Anyway, as they're coming down the road, they're quite a distance, but I could hear them faintly talking. There was quite a few of them. There was probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 people. And I'm standing on the side of the road with my camera, and I'm just hanging out, seeing if I've seen plenty of bear track in here or whatever, but really trying to get a picture of this thing that everybody says does not exist. If it does, I'm really not sure, but I will tell you some stories later. Anyway, so there was a steam train whistle that came from across the road, and it was the freakiest thing. It's like a 3-tier steam whistle. We do not have steam trains in Florida, okay? So it also stopped. They eventually walked past me, asked me what I was doing. I just said I'm getting photography, you know. I was trying to get shots of wildlife. Anyway, so they walked past me, and then there was two that were left behind. One was some guy that had something, he was mentally impaired or something, but he seemed pretty intelligent. He was in his 50s at the time, I guess. Had his hat backwards, and they walked up and asked me what I was doing, and we started talking about things, and I said, did you guys happen to hear the noise in the woods over here? And they said, no, we didn't hear anything. And I guess apparently because the other people were talking that were in front of them, and so it drowned out the noise I heard in the woods over here on the other side. And so when we started discussing this, the one guy who seemed like a savant goes and starts doing his finger. He goes, Bigfoot. He kept saying Bigfoot's in the woods, Bigfoot. And I'm like, okay. So I told him about the noise I heard. Well, eventually they left. They tried to catch up with the other group. By the time I was talking to them, they could never catch him. So they turned around and started coming back. But I watched them starting to come back, and as they did, I started to leave before them. I didn't want to stay there any longer. And then I heard the noise again, and it was on this side of the road, behind me somewhere in the forest. And it made the same noise. So, of course, I come up and I'm looking for tracks, but I didn't see any tracks. So, I'm going to explore out here a little bit, and I will post this video later so you guys can give me your feedback, comments, whatever. But this is what I'm going to be doing from now on. Besides wildlife photography, I'm going to be in the woods, and I'm going to explore things out here, and hopefully if they exist, capture a video or some photos, etc. Now, once I eventually get into other videos and tell you my experiences I've had in the woods, because I'm an avid outdoorsman, always in the woods, and I've heard things, etc. You might start swaying my direction, okay? Anyway, just wanted to let you know that my intentions are only to explore, to see what I can bring you guys. I'll take you into the woods, I'll show you around some spots, and I'll tell you some of my stories later. All right, see ya. Now, what do you think is strong enough to tear bark off a tree about the 8-foot mark, when I came and I can't even move it with my fingers? I'm just wondering what could tear that off and then break it. Pulled it off. and then these limbs like this, breaking these limbs. My GoPro is really acting up. For some reason it keeps shutting off. Anyway, kind of crazy, right? So these are the rocks I was talking about right here, pebbles, limestone, that are said to have been thrown at that guy. This is one of the remaining trees that were burned by the fire, the guy said, that was here. Now, this tree's an old tree, but anyway, he wasn't lying about that.